Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be recreating a tumbler I did when I first started. It's a cup on the right with the handle. It was something that Dixie Darlings did and I absolutely loved it. So I recreated it with epoxy. The other one on the right was done with the crystal-lac method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the contact paper on top of my vinyl, and I'm going to trim around the edges so when I load it into my Cricut to cut the pattern, I'm going to have clean edges. And then what I want to do is save the other half of the pattern because I can make another cup with it. I'll be using a 20-ounce straight from the Stainless Steel Depot. And I want to make sure that the pattern fits around the cup. And what I'm going to do is I'll draw a line to make sure that I put the pattern on straight. And then I'm going to carefully peel it back so I leave the other half of the pattern, the V actually, the big V on the backing, and I'll have the contact paper, which will help me put it on the cup like a transfer tape. I think I ended up peeling half of it off anyway. I made the attempt. Let's just say I made the attempt. But what I'll do is I'll put this on and make sure that I have it straight and cut that excess off so I don't have to struggle when it comes time to line up the edges and cut the excess off. I shouldn't have that much, but I always have trouble when I try to make that line down the back and connect the seams. So I have a little bit of an overlap there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other V. For the V split, it's this pink bandana paper, and I'll list all the names of the material and where I got it in the description box below. But I'm gonna put this V I cut in its slot right there and make sure it lines up. And I want to make sure it lines up because I don't want any extra little holes in between the vinyl. And there's no need because, I mean, this is simple. It seemed to take me forever, but it's very simple. I think I was just overthinking it. But you know, there's no reason why it shouldn't be neat because I'm not putting glitter on, I'm just putting vinyl on a cup, but that's the way it goes. It's always difficult, but I'm going to keep these seams overlapped until the end. That way I don't make myself any bald spots in the back, which I always seem to do. I just cannot get the hang of cutting those seams properly. So I'm going to see, I have a few bubbles, I'm going to pop them with my pin pen and get this ready to do the next step. So what I did was I went ahead and I measured to make sure that I had nice crisp lines, and I'm sorry I went out of focus there. So I'm going to cut this with my scissors instead of putting it in my Cricut, and I'm going to put it in the next deep V, and I'm going to overlap it a little bit. That way if I have to cut, it's nice and neat because it was going to be a little bit big. So I put some painter's tape here to make sure that I can get a nice crisp line. And I really think like I have to step on top of it to stand over it to make sure that I get everything lined up. But I was going to do the hinge method. I made a gallon attempt, and that just went out the window. So I tried. I did line it up a little bit, and I ended up cutting that piece off. And then, I put it back on. We'll try. And then I tossed it and got it on there anyway. So I'll get it one of these days. And sometimes it just, you gotta wing it. So I just lined this up and put it on, and then I went ahead and I made did any trimming I needed to do, and I still have that hangover in the back, and I'm gonna neaten that up as soon as I make sure that I have this on and I have no bubbles in my, in my vinyl, because I don't want to have any problems down the road after I did all this. And then I will go ahead and trim off the excess off the top. So here I am, I'm just going to go along with my X-Acto, well it's not really an X-Acto knife, it's my Cricut knife. And I'm going to cut that excess off and, like I said, try and make it as neat as possible. I didn't do too bad this time. I was really happy with myself. Now I'll take my cup edging tool and I'll go along and I'll make the top of the cup nice and even around. I used to do the bottoms, but I had a couple of times where I either dropped it and chipped it or I got a bubble and I had to redo the whole cup. So now I'm going to do the striping, and I won't bore you with this striping, but what I did was I went along and I did a nice thick black line around, and then I went inside the black line with a thinner white line, and I like the way that looked. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the striping on and leave my little tails until I'm ready to, and I'm finished, and I'll cut everything off. Okay, I didn't want to bore you putting all the lines, but I've chosen my silhouette, and I'm going to put it on, and I'm sorry I'm out of camera focus, well, camera frame I should say, but I put this on. I try to line it up as best I can in the center, and it's not too big because I didn't want it to be overpowering. So I just put that on, made sure it was nice and flat, went along and pushed any bubbles out, and then checked everything. And there it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some polyacrylic all over the tumbler to try and make sure that everything stays down, because I have a lot of different seams there, and I'll apply this. And then I think it took 2 coats of epoxy. I think maybe I did 3. The first coat was a little thick because I don't have any glitter on this. So I did 2 coats of the Fast Set. I think I used the Artisan Fast Set epoxy, and then my final coat was the Flynn Sisters epoxy, and I was pretty pleased with how it came out. I like the other one. I think I'll remake the other one that I did when I was doing it with Crystalette, because I really like that. That was a challenge, especially getting around the handle. But the images were really cool on how they were split between the bandana, and I like that. So you may see another video. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see me make that one with the epoxy method instead of the Crystalette, because I don't use that anymore. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and everything that I'll be using is listed and linked in the description box below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye.